Welcome to the Nebraska Department of Transportation's Title VI Plan Update and Training for subrecipients of Federal Transit Administration funding. The instructions and guidance provided in this training have been developed in line with the current official regulations from the U.S. Department of Transportation and guidance from the Federal Transit Administration, or FTA, as of December 2025. The U.S. Department of Justice is currently reviewing all civil rights regulations and guidance. However, there have been no official changes to the existing Title VI requirements. The Nebraska Department of Transportation, or NDOT, will inform subrecipients of any official changes to the Title VI requirements in the future. This training is part of an FTA requirement. It's important that you understand what Title VI is and how it applies to your work. Active participation is key, and we will ask you to participate during the virtual training. The goal of this training is for you to have a strong understanding of Title VI and how to incorporate it into your job responsibilities. So as you watch this video, take notes and be ready to apply what you learn when implementing your Title VI plan in your daily work. During today's training, you will learn the key components of Title VI compliance for transit providers. We'll start with the purpose and objectives of Title VI, then move into the basics of Title VI and LEP requirements. Later, we'll review complaint scenarios to help you understand how discrimination can occur and how to respond. One of the trickiest parts of complaints is distinguishing the type of complaint you're receiving and knowing how to process it. We will also cover the Title VI Program Plans update process, which happens every 3 years. To assist with that task, the training will also cover what goes into a Title VI plan and what NDOT expects from you as a subrecipient. Finally, we'll walk through the plan development process and recap what you need to do as subrecipients of federal funding before the 2026 Title VI plan updates. Why the focus on Title VI? All agencies receiving funding from the FTA through NDOT must comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and related non-discrimination requirements. Compliance with Title VI ensures equal access to transit services and prevents discrimination based on race, color, or national origin. This training gives subrecipients the tools to meet federal requirements and build community trust. It also fulfills your obligation as subrecipients of FTA dollars to complete a Title VI training. During this training, we will help you understand Title VI and LEP requirements based on current federal guidance. Note that federal guidance may change, and NDOT will provide relevant updates. Provide the context for you to determine whether you will prepare your agency's plan or request support from NDOT and HDR. Help you understand the importance of the requirements, how to assess and process complaints correctly, and expectations around having an inclusive public engagement process. Walk through how to update your Title VI plan with the idea that the processes described in the plan will be applied in your daily operations and reported to NDOT during compliance reviews. Our ultimate goal is to promote equity and strengthen public trust in transit services. Before we begin, take a moment to consider your organization's most recent Title VI plan update. How involved were you in that process? Were you deeply involved, somewhat involved, or not involved at all? Keep your answer in mind as we go through this training to help connect the material to your role. Let's dig into our first section on Title VI and limited English proficiency, or LEP requirements. So what exactly is Title VI? It is a law which states that no person in the United States shall, on the grounds of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, denied benefits of, or subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. For transit operators, this applies to all recipients and subrecipients of FTA funding, regardless of the amount of funding received. It covers service delivery, planning, decision making, and outreach. Let's talk about your core responsibilities under Title VI. Every transit agency must maintain a Title VI program and update it every 3 years. This program outlines your agency's efforts to comply with the intent of Title VI. The Title VI program requires the following from your agency. 1. You'll also need to post a notice to the general public making them aware of their rights under Title VI. This notice must be translated into the appropriate languages. These languages will be identified in your Title VI Language Assistance Plan. 2. You must also maintain and follow a complaint process for discrimination allegations, including a complaint form. 3. You must collect and analyze demographic data within your service area. 4. You must develop and maintain a language assistance plan for providing language assistance to persons with limited English proficiency or LEP. This plan must include a description of how you will train your staff and contractors to provide language assistance to LEP populations. FTA requires agencies to designate a Title VI coordinator who will serve as the primary point of contact and is responsible for coordinating activities to comply with Title VI. Title VI also protects individuals who have limited English proficiency, or LEP, from discrimination. This includes people who don't speak English at all or very well. Your service area needs to be assessed for LEP populations, even if it's small, and identify the languages spoken. If the LEP population reaches a threshold of 5% of people in your service area, or 1,000 individuals in your service area, then language assistance may be necessary so those individuals can use your services. While your organization may choose to adopt NDOT's overarching LEP policy, you are still required to create your own scaled Language Assistance Plan, or LAP, using the four-factor analysis specified by FTA. The four-factor analysis helps a rural transit system in Nebraska, or anywhere, decide the type and extent of language assistance it must offer. Each agency with an existing Title VI plan also has an existing LAP analysis. Should you need assistance finding this information or analyzing updated demographic information to your agency, NDOT can help. This LAP will live inside your Title VI plan template and should be about 2 to 3 pages, outlining your standard practices. Don't forget to train your staff on these procedures and track your outreach efforts. Next, let's define discrimination. Under Title VI, there are 2 forms of discrimination. Number 1 is disparate treatment, which is when a recipient of federal funds intentionally treats individuals differently because of their race, color, or national origin. Remember, Title VI applies to your entire operation, not just federally funded parts. Another form of discrimination in Title VI is disparate impact, which refers to neutral policies, programs, activities, or practices that have a disproportionate adverse impact on an individual or group from a protected class. In the case of Title VI, race, color, or national origin. Even if it's not intentional, agencies are responsible for ensuring their decisions don't disproportionately harm certain populations. Examples of discrimination include denying services or benefits based on race, color, or national origin, providing services or benefits in a different manner or to a lesser extent for specific individuals compared to others under the same program, subjecting riders to segregation or separate treatment, or applying different standards to individuals based on protected status. Allegations of discrimination under Title VI don't just stay theoretical, they often lead to formal complaints and, in some cases, legal action. When agencies fail to provide equitable access or unintentionally create barriers, these issues can escalate into lawsuits or settlements. To understand how this plays out in real life, let's look at a case where a policy decision resulted in a Title VI violation and legal consequences. In 2013, Faith Action for Community Equity filed a lawsuit against the Hawaii Department of Transportation, or HDOT, on behalf of Marshallese and Chukese residents who were denied driver's licenses after HDOT discontinued translated written exams. This highlighted the ongoing need for exams in additional languages. 2 years later, in 2015, the parties reached a settlement requiring HDOT to reinstate the translated materials and expand language access by providing additional translated materials. This case illustrates a disparate impact where a facially neutral policy results in discrimination under Title VI. Title VI prohibits discrimination based on race, color, or national origin. Your transit agency must ensure that services and decision-making are equitable. LEP obligations fall under Title VI, and you must take reasonable steps to provide access to services to people who don't speak English well. This is particularly important when it comes to populations that meet the threshold of 5% of your service area or 1,000 people within the region who have limited English proficiency. There's also the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA. ADA is a totally separate law from Title VI. However, both require you to provide fair and equal access to your agency's transit services. ADA requires equal access for individuals with disabilities. Transit providers must meet vehicle and facility accessibility standards and assist passengers as needed. Title VI and ADA both promote equity but protect different groups. Title VI focuses on race, color, and national origin. ADA focuses on disability access. Noncompliance can result from mishandling complaints, failing to post policies, or not conducting equity analyses. A frequent area of noncompliance happens when agencies fail to post their Title VI policy in a conspicuous, publicly accessible location. For transit agencies, this includes inside of your vehicles. Training staff is also a basic activity that can help prevent noncompliance with Title VI. Awareness and documentation are key. In your work, you may have heard of a complaint against your agency, but what's the difference between a Title VI complaint and a service complaint? Take a minute, pause the video, and read the options before selecting the answer you think is correct. The correct answer is a Title VI complaint that alleges discrimination based on race, color, or national origin. A service complaint addresses general dissatisfaction with transit services, for example, late buses, rude drivers, etc. Let's walk through some complaint scenarios to help you identify the type of issue and how to respond. Let's walk through scenario 1.
I am an Iraqi American woman and use a cane. As I approached the bus, I was speaking Arabic on the phone. When I boarded, the driver looked at me suspiciously and said, "This is America. Speak English on my bus." I responded in English, explaining that I was speaking to my mother, and asked if I could sit in the priority seating area because of my cane. He looked at my cane, then at me, and said, "I don't think so. Those seats are for real disabled Americans." He then pointed to the back of the bus and said, "Move along." I was shocked and began to explain my injury, but he interrupted, saying, "I've heard enough of your foreign talk. Either go to the back or get off my bus." Shortly after, an elderly white man with a walker boarded. The driver immediately smiled, assisted him to a priority seat, and said, "There you go, sir. Take your time.
What type of complaint is this? Is it a Title VI complaint, an ADA complaint, or a service complaint? This is a Title VI complaint involving national origin and discriminatory treatment. There are elements of an ADA complaint in this scenario as well. However, Title VI is what carries in this particular complaint. Now for scenario 2.
I use a wheelchair and boarded the bus using the lift. After boarding, I asked the driver to assist with securing my wheelchair. He sighed loudly and said, "I don't have time for this. Just hold on tight." When I explained that securement is mandatory for safety, he became visibly annoyed and responded, "Look, lady, I've got a schedule to keep. You got on fine. You can figure out how to stay put." He refused to assist with securing my wheelchair. During the ride, my wheelchair shifted several times at stops, which was frightening and unsafe. Other passengers witnessed his refusal. I also want to note that I am Indian American.
Is this a Title VI complaint, an ADA complaint, or a service complaint? This is an ADA complaint. A driver refused to secure a wheelchair, creating a safety risk. The issue is disability access. This may appear to be a service issue, however, the primary question here is in regard to the rider's disability. Let's look at a third scenario.
I'm an elderly individual and I use a wheelchair. I don't currently have access to personal transportation. I needed a ride to a doctor's appointment, but when I called the local transit agency to request pickup, they said there was no space available on the bus and no other buses were running. I didn't have any other option, so I was forced to reschedule my appointment. I am very upset that the transit agency could not accommodate my request. I would like to file a formal complaint regarding this incident.
What type of complaint will this user file? A Title VI complaint, an ADA complaint, or a general service complaint? This is a general service complaint. The rider was denied service due to capacity limits, not discrimination. Now for our fourth and final scenario.
A Hispanic woman boarded a rural transit bus and asked the driver for assistance with the fare machine in Spanish. The driver responded loudly, "We don't help people who can't speak English," and refused to assist her, causing her to miss her stop. Later, when a non-Hispanic passenger requested help, the driver assisted without hesitation. Another passenger witnessed these exchanges and called the transit agency to file a complaint about the driver's behavior toward the Hispanic woman. The transit agency documented the witness's account, recorded details of the phone call, and collected the individual's contact information from the witness.
Pretend you are the transit agency staff member who received this complaint. What would you do next? Would you interview the bus driver, ignore it, or inform NDOT of a Title VI complaint? The correct answer is to inform NDOT of the Title VI complaint. NDOT must be made aware of these complaints and will assist you in addressing them. Your agency is not expected to handle this alone. Please take advantage of NDOT's expertise and support. Now that we understand what Title VI is and the types of complaints that may arise, let's go over the components of a Title VI program. These are the elements a program must contain to stay compliant. Your Title VI program must include the components listed on this slide. We're going to go through each of these in detail in the following slides. Please note that updates to your Title VI programs mean that these components must reflect current practice and personnel. Don't copy old plans without review. The Title VI Notice to the Public is a statement of non-discrimination and complaint rights that must be posted where the public can see it, including in vehicles, facilities, and online. It provides high-level information about rights under Title VI and how individuals can file a complaint. In addition to English, provide a Spanish translation of the public notice and any other translations required by your LAP. NDOT will check these during compliance reviews, so make sure they're visible and accurate. Your complaint procedure must be clear and accessible. This is another vital document that should be provided in all languages as required by your LAP. Riders should know how to file a complaint, where to find the form, online and in print, and what happens after they submit it. Forward all complaints to NDOT immediately. Don't investigate on your own. NDOT will lead all Title VI investigations. During reviews, NDOT will check that your forms are posted and that you report complaints promptly. If you've received a complaint and are unsure what category it falls into, Title VI, ADA, or General Service, make sure to reach out to NDOT for counsel so the complaint isn't mishandled. All subrecipients must maintain a log of all Title VI complaints, investigations, and lawsuits, even if there are none. If you have no complaints, you must record something such as no complaints or zero received. A zero report still shows compliance. NDOT will review these logs during updates and reviews. If you receive a complaint, notify NDOT right away. This log is your accountability record. Public participation is about meaningful engagement, not just checking a box. Your plan should outline how you notify the public about changes and how you include minority and LEP populations. It should also describe the methods you will use, like public meetings, surveys, translated notices, and targeted outreach. When it comes to public participation, you must document everything: ads for the event and duration they ran, sign-in sheets, comments, and your responses. Prior to the event, NDOT must review these materials and receive documentation afterwards. NDOT will review these records to ensure your outreach was effective and inclusive. When is public participation required? There can never be too much public input, but certain activities require it. These include the event of a vehicle purchase or upon submission of an application for state or federal operating assistance funds. A public hearing is required when fares increase or decrease in discounts offered, there's a major change in service, or if there's a capital construction project. A major service change includes many things, such as reducing system hours by 10%, eliminating service in areas with 2,000 plus people, eliminating service on one or more days of the week, or changing the type of transit offered in the area. Your language assistance plan should provide meaningful access for LEP individuals. Tailor it to your community, document it in your Title VI plan, and train staff on procedures. NDOT will provide your agency with demographic and LEP data of areas serviced by subrecipients, as well as evaluating the LAP during compliance reviews, checking that services, including signage, are in place and verifying that LEP data is current. Demographic data and a service area profile include data about the population and riders, such as race, ethnicity, income, and LEP status. It can also include maps of the service area, customer-reported demographics, and travel patterns. As a subrecipient, it's your responsibility to assess any barriers that may prevent people from effectively participating. You must also use this data to guide inclusive service planning. NDOT will review these submissions and confirm equity in service delivery. Your organization must report the racial breakdown of transit-related non-elected boards and describe the recruitment process to select members of these boards. NDOT will evaluate this during compliance reviews. Fixed route providers must include system-wide service standards for vehicle load, headway, on-time performance, and service availability. NDOT will inspect these standards. Monitoring and reporting are ongoing. You must sign assurances, submit reports, and cooperate with NDOT reviews. Your plan must be approved by your governing board in writing and include the current Title VI contact information. Then you can email the approved plan to NDOT. We will review and confirm that the documentation is correct before uploading it into the Transit Manager's portal or returning it to you with comments. Let's review NDOT's role and your organization's responsibilities. NDOT oversees compliance and provides tools to help you meet requirements. NDOT is the primary recipient of FTA funds and ensures subrecipients comply with Title VI. Your plan must align with NDOT's expectations and timelines. We will share where you can find this information shortly. As a subrecipient, you must submit and maintain a current Title VI plan, implement the plan as it's written, train your staff on non-discrimination policy and how you expect people to be treated, respond to NDOT reviews, and ensure third-party operators comply with Title VI requirements. Compliance is ongoing. It is good practice to regularly check in on your agency. Remember, all Title VI plans must be updated, approved, and submitted by February 25, 2026. This is a critical date as it allows us to review all plans, check for compliance, and more. You can find current Title VI plans in the Transit Manager's portal. NDOT can also send you what they have on file for your agency upon request. Tools for the 2026 update include your existing plan, NDOT's questionnaire, and a subrecipient template report. Existing subrecipient plans are also available for reference within the Agency Plans section of the Nebraska Transit portal. We have also created a subrecipient template that generates your Title VI plan. The answers you provide on the questionnaire will be taken verbatim to create the first draft of your Title VI program plan. NDOT has developed these tools for you to use to update this plan. The use of them is not optional. Using the subrecipient template helps to guarantee that your Title VI plan is compliant and consistent with FTA expectations. Let's walk through the plan development process step by step. Step 1. Mark up your old plan. Identify changes in structure, service area, routes, or personnel. Step 2. Complete the web questionnaire. This populates the template. Step 3. Submit to generate a PDF. Attach your LAP or request assistance. Step 4. Internal review and board approval. Step 5. Submit to NDOT via email. Each step ensures your plan reflects current practices and meets compliance standards. Step 1. Mark up your old plan. Review changes in structure, service area, routes, and personnel. Make sure your current practices are reflected. Ask yourself, are we doing what the plan says? Have we made any major changes? Where do we have our posters? What languages are the materials in? Are the records complete? What's working and what needs to change? This step ensures your plan reflects reality, not outdated practices. Step 2. Filling out the NDOT subrecipient Title VI questionnaire. It has fewer than 40 questions and will form your Title VI plan template. It's very important to provide details in this questionnaire. If you respond with incomplete information, it will be populated into your template. There are attached elements to the template that the questionnaire won't create. An example of this is your language assistance plan. We don't go over how to create an LAP today, but you can request assistance with this element in the questionnaire. If you did not select the LAP for assistance, you will update your LAP and attach it to your updated Title VI plan draft. Think of this as the bridge between your old plan and the new template. It sets the foundation for compliance. Step 3. Once the questionnaire is complete, submit it. HDR will use your responses to generate your draft Title VI plan. Attach your LAP or request assistance from HDR if needed. This step gives you a working draft that can be finalized internally. Step 4. Conduct an internal review of the draft plan and determine if any updates or changes need to be made. If you have to make changes, please keep a copy documenting those changes for NDOT and HDR to review. Then, you must secure formal approval with a signature and date. Step 5. Submit your final plan to NDOT at ndot.civilrights@nebraska.gov. Let's recap key actions. To update your organization's Title VI plan, you must identify a Title VI coordinator who will be the primary point of contact for compliance activities. Review and update your previous plan and mark up needed changes. Complete the NDOT-specific Title VI questionnaire with complete thoughts. Update or create the LAP and secure board approval of the updated plan for your agency. Please submit your final Title VI plan to NDOT by February 25, 2026. Email it to ndot.civilrights@nebraska.gov. Remember, NDOT is here to help. We have developed tools to help your organization through this process. Use our questionnaire, sample forms, and this walkthrough to guide your update. If you have questions, email us at ndot.civilrights@ndot.gov. Thank you for your time and commitment to Title VI compliance. We look forward to supporting you through this process.